Hi, I'm Glenn Broder, and today is June 19th, 2008, and welcome to my video blog. Today what we're going to talk about is a concept that I've been thinking about for quite some time, which is known as visual motor rehearsal. Now, what is visual motor rehearsal? Visual motor rehearsal is a system where we prove that the mind doesn't know the difference between practical and practice. Interesting concept, because think of how that could play into life and into business and into all your relationships if this turns out to be the way things are. And we know from studies with world-class athletes that this is exactly how the brain works. Now, how did we learn this? We learned it with the invent of MRI, because MRI was able to tell the difference between brain chemicals that we weren't able to see before. So now we have a practical tool to be able to tell us exactly what is going on with the mind. Now, what visual motor rehearsal says is that your mind really doesn't know the difference between practice and practical, and the way that they proved it was this. They took world-class runners at the Olympic level. So you're talking about the best of the best. And they hooked them up with all of the electrodes, and they hooked all the muscles up and everything in their body up to the machine, to the computer. And they asked them, in one case, to actually run their activity, and in the second case, to run their activity, but only in their mind. It's a wild concept. So what it's showing is what visualization can do. Let's make that connection. A world-class runner closes their eyes and thinks, coming out of the blocks, this is the first motion I'm going to make. They do all of these things. They do it so well and so practiced that they just come off very simply that that's exactly what their body does and knows. Their mind and brain knows. That's how they react. Now, what does that teach us? If the brain can't tell the difference between when they were doing it in their mind and can't tell the difference between when they were doing it as practically, then the brain can be trained to do things naturally. What do I mean? If you have a proficiency for something and you already are actively involved in it, and it simply takes you maybe being a little less fearful, like we talk about quite a bit, and maybe it takes you breaking through every once in a while, which we talk about a lot, and stepping through that fear, maybe the way that you should step through that fear is like this. Train yourself practically first. Write down what you would do if nothing could go wrong. If you were assured at the end of the day everything would go right, what exactly would you do today, or with this relationship, or in business, or in your marriage, or in whatever? So maybe the way that you get and step through fear is that you go ahead and in your mind you act as if you were able to do it with no consequence other than natural consequence. Fear lives in the mind. So if you lay down on paper a strategy and a plan to get what you need, or to have the relationship you want, or all of the things that it takes to be strong in life, to be happy and satisfied with life, write it down first. Teach it to your brain. Take your time. If there's some friction between you and another person, write down what you would like to have happen to resolve the issue. And then read it over as if you were the one being asked to do that. And what you'll find is, very often fear and hesitation and not moving forward in life is simply because you're fearful because you've never made a plan to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Look, we talk about these things every day. You can come onto the web and see us every single day. My name's Glenn Broder. 888-674-6743 is my toll-free number. glennbroder@gmail.com is my email address, and we would love you to join us for a monthly subscription. The value to you is huge because I'm telling you, I've studied it, I've talked with thousands and tens of thousands of people, probably hundreds of thousands of people over my 25-year career. And if we can figure out how to get your mind to prepare first and then make the practical action second, it will become second nature to you. And when it does, fear that only lives here disappears. All the best to you today. Great prosperity, and I wish you nothing but ferocious courage. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.